Hello, hello, this is Max, working on Fall 2012, Midterm 2, Problem 4, Part A. Okay, so you've been hired to work on AI United Pusher Electric, the leading manufacturer of pusher bots. The latest model, PusherBot 5, keeps pushing people downstairs when it gets lost. Fix it! Assume that you have an abstract data type position that combines x and y coordinates in meters, so... Okay, great, so we've got something called position, and we want to get the x out of it, we call x, y we call y. On position. Great. Pathfinder should return a visit function that takes a position argument. Visit returns true unless its argument position is more than 6 meters from position 0, 0, or its argument position has been visited before. So we don't want to visit the same place twice. Okay, fine. The implementation below is incorrect. Cross out each line or part of a line that must change and write the revised version next to it so that Pathfinder is correct and does not depend on the implementation of position. Okay, yeah, so we need to make sure we maintain x and y's instead of doing any indexing into it. Okay, assume that corrections have the same indentation as the lines they replace. You may not add or remove lines. Make as few changes as necessary. Okay, so define equal position other. This is going to return x position equals y position. X position equals x other. So this is checking whether the x coordinates are the same. Y position equals y other. This is checking whether the y coordinates are the same. Okay, return a visit function to help with pathfinding. So visit blah blah blah. Read the doc tests first. Okay, so this is too far away, that's fine because 5 squared plus 144 square root is greater than 6. Oh, we've already visited this, so we don't want to do it again. Visit 2. Oh, and these are each different pathfinders, so we can visit it again. Okay, fine. And so we've got a visited. This is presumably going to keep track of the things that we visited. Define visit. We've got an helper function, which is going to do the visiting. Oh yeah, but so this is Pathfinder some bot, right? Okay, and we can call it on things. And this is the visit. We're actually going to return. Doesn't really make sense to return a list here, right? Because visit needs to be able to be called on things. So I'm a little sketched out by this line. We won't change it yet, but I'm thinking this might need to be changed to visit, right? Because visit is actually going to need to be called on stuff, and if we were actually indexing into a list, then we would use square brackets, but we're not. Okay, this looks like it should be visit. That's fine. If square root x position times x position plus y position. This is just the distance formula. If it's greater than 6, then we want to return false. Alright, this looks right, so we don't want to visit things that we're more than 6 away from. We might not need to touch this. For p and visit, oh, this is definitely wrong, right? So visit's a function, this should be visited. So we're going through this tuple, right? That makes sense. If p equals position, so this line looks a little problematic as well. P equals position. We wouldn't really get this. They gave us this equal thing right here, right, which looks like it obeys the abstraction barriers that we put in. This is going to work if position equals like a tuple, or if it equals a list, or if it equals some other, like maybe objects if we've already defined an equals thing for them. But this looks wrong to me. This looks like we should make sure that we're not relying on the implementation of position. We should instead, so each of these is going to be a position inside of our visited list, and so what we should do is instead call equals. If equal p position, and that makes sure that we're keeping abstraction barriers. So in general, if you see like a function that's defined for you, you probably want to consider using it, right? So we don't see equal anywhere here, except for right up here. This is not always true. Sometimes we'll put things in to trick you, but very rarely. So, you see this, your equals, and you see, okay, well, this is an equal up here. Maybe this should go here. That makes sense. Okay, now let's just logically think about it. For p and visited, we're visiting each thing. We're assuming that this is the list of things that we visited before. If we found something that we visited before and we're trying to visit it again, we shouldn't return true, right? We should return false. We don't want to visit the same place twice. And then we should leave. Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, we want to do visited.append position, but yeah, you can't call append on a tuple. I don't know if this is something that, I think we've covered this in class before. you know, tuples are immutable types, right? So this needs to instead be a list if we want to be able to call append on it. So the other way we could do this is visited. Oh, we couldn't do that because we'd have to make it non-local. Yeah, so this looks like the only way to do it, right? If we want to change visited and we're not allowed to add new lines, then we need to make sure this is a list. And then we can return true, that looks right. And then I'm pretty confident this should be visit, because we're calling it as a function, right? So, and I think this is it. I think this is a pretty quick question. So in general, if you see these sort of questions and you're given something like equals, you should probably make sure that it appears somewhere in your function. Let me know if you have questions about this, and feel free to ask on Piazza or YouTube, and we'll get them answered. Thanks for watching.